All right, so we back. Hunt for the prize. Week 15. It's fantasy playoff time. Some people might be in the finals. I'm in the finals right now. I didn't start Mark Andrews, but I got David Njoku starting, who I like better. Honestly, he still might score like 20 points. But how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. It's been a long day, but we are here. Hunt for the prize, week 15. 2 weeks left as far as season wise. So, and then
For
really,
mostly,
mostly done. Me, almost really done.
right, right. You learn not. We've learned not to play in week 17. That's
Definitely,
how I
definitely,
got
yeah.
my chip. That's how I got my chip. All right, so what what what'd you see in that Thursday night game? Did we really learn anything new, or did you see anything from the Jets besides maybe Jamison Crowder that you really liked? Um, and yeah, the thing about Baltimore is you don't know who's going to go off for that team but Lamar. So you you
Yeah,
really
yeah.
weak.
I think the Ravens, as long as you got Lamar Ingram, you're probably safe. I didn't play Andrews in one of my leagues for the same reason. I was like, if you don't score a touchdown, he's not going to give me the points.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he scored. He got double digits, but it was 11, so he got 50 yards with it. He did almost had another touchdown, big break, but I think Lamar Jackson overthrew it a little bit. But yeah, it's scary to go a team that has a lot of options or not a lot of known options, I guess you can say too. And for the Jets, man, I mean, if you had Anderson and you had Crowder, you wasn't disappointed for the matchup that they faced. That was pretty good. Crowder dropped the touchdown, but they made up for it, and Robbie had some big plays. So, uh, it's not too much to say. We knew the outcome was going to be. Knew it was going to be a blowout. Um, yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a good game for the Ravens. You knew Lamar was going to go off Ingram. I play Ingram, of course, in fantasy, so that kind of hurt me a little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I completely understand. I benched Jameson Crowder in the league, so
Hey,
that
it was warranted. It was warranted because the last 3 to 4 weeks.
it is. It'll be all right. I have Julian Edelman and Jarvis Landry starting over him, so I'll be okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we are going
My bad.
into the injury report. So there was a lot of injuries. I cut this list down to we'll talk about the other injuries later, but I cut this down to basically like people we need to know. Jameis Winston is questionable with a thumb injury. He was a full practice on Friday though. Um, Matt Stafford and Danny Dimes are out. Um, Derrick Henry is questionable. He did not practice all week with a hamstring injury, but Derrick Henry said himself he's good to go. So I would definitely keep an eye on that. James Conner, he's been a full practice participant, but he's still listed as questionable. Conner said himself that he's probably going to need surgery once the season ends. And then Josh Jacobs is questionable. He's a game time decision. He's practiced limited all week. Uh, Devontae Freeman has a knee injury. He's been limited. Edelman's been limited not only with his shoulder. He has a knee injury now, but he's usually good to go. Julio is questionable. He's been limited. T.Y. Hilton has been limited. He wants to return sometime this season. Whether it's this week, we really don't know. DJ Chark is out. Um, Devontae Parker is questionable with a concussion. He just has to be cleared by a neurologist. Him and Albert Wilson. Will Fuller is questionable. He's been a limited participant. Evan Ingram is out once again. Noah Fant is questionable. He's been limited, and Jared Cook has been a full participant, but he has a concussion. He has to be cleared too.
All right, man. Let's go and get into the games.
All right, so the first game we got is Tampa Bay at Detroit over under 46 minus 3.5 to Tampa Bay. So no Mike Evans in this game. If you don't already know, Mike Evans is out more than likely for the season. So a lock is Chris Godwin, man. I feel like there's going to be a good uptick for OJ Howard. He's been getting 5 or 6 targets these past couple of weeks with Evans there. They've been trying to use him more. And then Brashad Perriman would be the other one. But if I'm going this offense, I really just want Godwin and probably Ronald Jones.
Yeah, but see, the thing about Ronald Jones is who knows if it's going to be Peyton Barber game? He can miss one blown assignment, and they'll yank him. I don't understand what's going on down there, but the running back is going to be a lot. Who is going to be? That's up to Bruce Arians. And yeah, like you said, this is perfect for James Winston. I think this allows him to, look to other people, because in the game last week when Evans went out, he started hitting Perriman and Justin Watson, all the other guys that you never really hear about because he forced it to Mike Evans all day or Godwin all day. Mike Evans getting hurt kind of cost me a league, especially with the matchup. I was hoping that would be a big day for him. But he's out. He probably out for the season. I doubt he's coming back. There's no point of it. So yeah, I picked up OJ Howard in a couple leagues and playing him because I think he should take that role. He's a big body receiver just like Mike Evans. Coming out of the draft, he was a fast tight end, and maybe him being over there in a slot or something, mate. That's what Winston want to do. And I think it should be a big game for them.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's I really don't know who I want from the Detroit side, so I don't know if Detroit can make this a game. But I like the Tampa Bay offense to do what they normally do, especially with Jameis. I with his thumb injury, I feel like they're going to try to take it slow. They're going to try to run the ball more in this game than pass. But Godwin, like, there's no one else he can pass to. He can pass to Perriman and Howard, but I feel like Godwin is the man, especially in the slot. I don't see Slay go in on him either.
I would say the only two guys I do like. I mean, without Marvin Jones, that does create. Yeah, I'm saying it does create more volume. So, but I do like Amendola as well. I just think that without Hockenson, without Kerryon, without Marvin Jones, that's three big guys from this whole Lions offense from the season that all went down. And Golladay is going to be a force. I don't think, regardless, the Lions still going to throw the ball. They don't care. And with this matchup with Tampa Bay being such a good run defense, you can pretty much eliminate Bo Scarborough right there, which means there's only two other guys, and that's either Golladay or Amendola. So if you pick one of those two up, you should be happy. Amendola is pretty cheap in DraftKings, so you might can get some good value there if you just need somebody to get you a good floor.
Yeah, I completely understand. I have the whole Detroit offense as a floor play besides the running backs. Bo Scarborough is actually he practiced on like Tuesday, and then after Wednesday he hasn't practiced all week, so he's actually most likely out. So I mean, I like the Amendola play as a safe floor play. I guess Blau, just get the whole cake as well. He's a pretty cheap play on DraftKings, but I don't know. This is definitely a Tampa Bay game for me. But if Detroit wins, I would not be surprised.
All right, it's gonna be. I'm gonna put some bets on some games, and this one I'm taking Tampa Bay, of course.
All right, we got the next game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Redskins over under 39 -4.5 to the Eagles. I really don't know if I like the passing offense without the weapons there. Like, you can only trust Ertz, maybe Goddard. But the real person I want from this Philly team is Miles Sanders.
Yeah, and then last week you kind of were disappointed if you had Miles Sanders, because there's this random guy named Scott come out of nowhere and he went berserk. Like, if you put that work that he got to Sanders, you're talking about a great draft pick the Eagles had. But with Greg Ward and Arcega Whiteside out there, you just really don't know. Aguilar probably not playing again, so you just don't really know what to expect. You saw them struggle against the Giants defense, for crying out loud, and this Redskins defense is better. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Washington wants to play a slow-paced game, so it's not going to be a lot of possessions. So, if Washington can control the clock, and if they can run the ball with Peterson and hit the deep targets, because that's what Giants stopped doing. They stopped going deep, and when you got a guy like Terry McLaurin on that side, going deep every play should be the option. I mean, what else you got? So, but outside of Terry and Adrian Peterson, there's nobody I even want to think about. And I probably won't even touch Adrian Peterson, just the fact that Eagles has a good run defense. So they did to Saquon Barkley last week. And yeah, like you said, if it's not Zach Ertz, if it's not Goddard, you question everything. I really don't want no parts of this game.
Yeah, I mean, without Geese there now, I feel like Chris Thompson takes a step up. Like, he's going to get more targets in this offense, especially with Paul Richardson still out. I mean, Harmon is there, but I feel like Thompson.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Thompson is probably going to be one of the like safe floors. I would say. I'm not really targeting him as a lock. Um, I really don't know how I feel about Terry McLaurin. He can definitely make the play happen. I actually have him like as a lock, but I have a question mark next to it just because Dwayne Haskins has been playing better, but I don't know if I can trust him against this Philly pass rush.
Well, the Eagles pass rush doesn't scare me too much. I mean he's not a mobile guy. I mean, but he's a little bit mobile than Eli. I think they can buy him time. Terry's going to kill him. I just don't see. I mean, you saw with Slayton last week. If you got a deep threat, go deep on them. Man, they really can't stop it. Flea flicker is going to work because Redskins are going to run the ball. That's what they're going to do. They're going to run. So regardless of what it is, and if they take the shots at the right time, Terry can get you 3 catches, 100 yards easily.
Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. That's why I have him as a lock. It's just I'm iffy about it, just because
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Haskins. All right, so we got the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. Over under 40 and a half, minus 4.5 to Green Bay. Um, I really don't know. Like I know Green Bay won this game last time in right. Wait, did they win?
Yeah. 10-3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one game. Yeah. So I've Trubisky's been playing a lot better. They're still going to triple Devonte Adams. I have Adams as a lot because you really can't sit him. I really don't know how this game is going to go because these teams they they're not the same from when they were in on that opening night.
Yeah. I would say this game they're gonna have to lean um or Aaron Jones or Jamal Adams. Not Jamal Adams, Jamal Williams. But I hope because they can run the ball. Maybe the Bears running game has been as without Hicks in the middle. But if they can get the running game going, then maybe that can open up for Devontae Adams. And like you said, on the Bears side, Mitch has been playing the last 3 games. He's playing outstanding. And when he played good, that means Allen Robinson plays good. And without Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller has been playing good. So the run game is still iffy for the Bears. This is a good matchup for them to get going, whether it's Cohen or Montgomery. So we can see if that happens. I don't have no trust factor in neither one of those 2 running backs. So therefore, if it's not Mitch doing a lot of rollouts and stuff like that, then that's how they can carve him up. So Allen Robinson is definitely a lock for me. I don't think whether it's Jerry Alexander or somebody on the other side, Kevin King or something like that, I'm not worried about them. I think Allen Robinson is safer than Devontae Adams, and that's crazy. But to say that with Aaron Rodgers and Trubisky, but it just feels like a game where Adams can go crazy, or he might not. He might get 3 catches and 40 yards, and you'd be disappointed.
Exactly, and it all really depends on what the rest of the Green Bay offense can do. I do have the Green Bay running back like unit as a whole as a lock, um, just because you'll get Jamal in the passing game, as well as I feel like Aaron Jones is like if he's going to get the volume this game, if they're still up this game, if he can like he can still have like 100 yards with like 15 carries easily. Um, yeah, Allen Robinson is yeah, he's definitely a lock for me. He's been balling out like since Trubisky's been balling out. But if you feel like Trubisky isn't going to be able to do it this game, I don't know if you can have him on that lock level. But I trust it. Robinson's a lock for me, and I do probably like him better than Adams, just because what we saw last game from these 2 teams. Adams is going to get triple team, double team. There's no one else on that offense for like receiver wise that's really going to garner a matchup that you need to not triple cover Devontae Adams.
Right, and we'll see if the Packers coaches see that and have some kind of plan to get him open because they're gonna have to because he's a star. Hopefully,
All right.
Hopefully, don't be 10-3 again. That's just stupid.
This game might be 10-3. New England at the Cincinnati Bengals. Over under 41.5, -10 to New England. So we always talk about get right games. This is a get right game for Sony Michelle.
I was with you till you said it's from Michelle. But no, I think the Patriots are going to come out with the defense or offense and make a statement with all this, you know, Spygate 2.0 stuff going on, whatever. Usually when they come out and after everybody accuses them of being the cheaters, they come out the next game and they blow you out and they show you why they don't have to cheat. So I'm definitely. With that being said, that means the Patriots are going to on offense have a good game. I think this is the game that they needed to get, like you said, get right. And you probably right. It could be anybody. It could be Michelle. Michelle can go crazy. It could be Edelman. It could be James White. It's going to be somebody. And Tom Brady, I think he's going to have a great game in this game just because of they're going to put on a statement, and there's no way they can be this bad on offense this whole time. Like they have to turn the switch at some point, especially when they win the Super Bowl, because you can't rely on your defense every single game. So at some point they got to turn it around, and why not start now?
Yeah, and that's why I think it's they when they turn it around, they need to get back to the foundation that everyone thought they were going to at the beginning of the season. Like this team hasn't really ran the ball that much, and I feel like if for the offense to open up and for Brady to be able to like make deeper throws or anything like that, we need to get the run game going with Michelle. I don't know like if there's something wrong with his knee or if our offensive line hasn't been playing the best run blocking, but Michelle needs to get right this game for everything else to open up throughout the season.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would use Damian Harris, the running back they out of Alabama. He's just not playing. Like he just whatever it is. But I mean, you can't say well they don't trust young running backs. Well, Michelle, this is what second season, so you know you gotta trust somebody young, especially with. I think he's a pretty good running back, but I guess maybe he don't know pad protections or something like that. Why he's not playing? But I think they need if it's not going to work this game, they need to try something else. Get Harris out there, or every time Bolden gets in, he always scores. So I don't know why he doesn't play more than he should. But you got a stable running back, so somebody got to work. I guess it's Bengals defense. Somebody got to work.
Yeah, and if it's not Michelle, I also have James White and Julian Edelman as a lock. I honestly feel like this is going to be a slow game. I still think we're going to cover the 10, but I literally think it's going to be like 13-3.
um, Cincinnati side, on person I would play is Mixon, but
Maybe.
that's just because of volume. Nobody else I would play in this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. Because whether Boyd is on the outside or if he's in the slot, he's going to face a superstar to an elite corner. So
All right.
yeah, can't trust anyone on Cincinnati. Houston at Tennessee over under 50 -3 to the Titans. Tighten up, baby. Gotta.
Tighten up. But
Uh,
hey, them boys dangerous.
yeah, they
It's
really are since Tannehill's been there.
and to be honest, I know Derrick Henry has been banged up. But do not shy away from Tennessee offense because just like last week, talk about the Raiders. They were the worst team in the red zone on defense. And guess who's the second worst team on defense in the red zone? The Houston Texans. So with that being said, Ryan Tannehill is going to have another big day. The corners are not good. AJ Brown, you can line him up again. I think he's pretty much safe now. And you got a lot of pass catchers that Tannehill is not going to shy away from, probably except Corey Davis. But if Derrick Henry is there, you know the team is going to be balanced. They are the most explosive pass offense and the most explosive rush offense since Tannehill has been starting. And this is going to be, I think it's going to be another -3. I would take it if it was -7. Like I think Tennessee is going to come out and put on a show. Yes, Deshaun Watson is great, and that match is going to be good. Tennessee be giving up a lot of plays too, the receivers. So I like D Hop and Watson as locks, but I don't think they can handle on defense. They can handle enough of Tennessee. So definitely, I like Ryan Tannehill a lot.
Yeah, I completely understand. I have Ryan Tannehill as a lock. D Hop is a lock. Watson is a lock. But the Texans players more just like I'm not gonna say garbage time because I can't predict how close they keep this game. But they're gonna move the ball at some point and put up scores. I mean, if Derrick Henry plays, he's a lock. It doesn't matter. And then
Yeah,
I do have Brown as a lock. You have to line him up with how well he's been playing. I honestly hope he doesn't go off because I'm playing him in the playoffs. So hopefully he doesn't get that big play. But with this Houston secondary, it's almost guaranteed. And then for floor plays, if he's back and he can get his volume, I kind of like Will Fuller. But you never know with Will Fuller. Like just as a floor play, like not even, like if he doesn't catch a touchdown, I can see him getting 5 catches for 50 yards.
yeah. what about the running backs on Texans? Do you trust anybody? Because I got to make a decision. Help me. Do I roll out Duke Johnson, or do I roll out a 49er that's not named Mostert? Like, I need to know, because if I think it's gonna be a blowout, which means I'm leaning Duke for the pass catching role.
Right.
That's my process on that one.
Right. I picked up Mostert in the league. I was shocked. But
Yeah, I got him too.
I feel like I like you. You have to go with Duke Johnson just because, unless the only other person, like, because this is Dynasty, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. The only other person I would probably consider is Breida, um, just because like Atlanta will give up that big play, and Breida's the faster, shiftier back.
Yeah. Like I don't know what to do. My running backs are definitely would be drafting a running back with
Hey,
my picks, because oh my gosh.
I got the number 2 pick. I gotta look at these quarterbacks. I really don't know them. Anyone from my dynasty league, if you want the second pick, trade me. Nah, Chris, you got Josh Allen. I was so mad because Chris thought I was offering him a second round pick, not a second overall pick for Josh Allen. I was like, oh man. He was
Hey,
like,
just
oh my bad. I was like, the trade already done now.
right. Woo, thank you.
All right, so the next game we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Carolina Panthers, over under 49, -6.5 to Seattle. Which I honestly, I kind of agree with this line. I think it's a big Chris Carson game. Without Rashad Penny there, as long as he's able to hold on to the football, I feel like it's a big Chris Carson game with Carolina trying to play catch up, with Seattle playing a slow run heavy game.
Yeah, and then the thing about this Carolina Panthers, you just don't know, because everybody on the team is auditioning. That's like the coaches are auditioning for the future. Like, everybody's auditioning, so you don't know what kind of tricks and crannies that they're going to come up with. And I would say that Moore and McCaffrey are the only guys you probably can trust. Everybody else, you just hoping. Curtis Samuel, hoping for a touchdown. Is Olsen clear concussion protocol?
Olsen is out.
So Olsen's out. So you got Ian Thomas, and he can take the role of Olsen, but how much do you trust Kyle Allen to have a McCaffrey, have a Moore, all be great? So but against Seattle, they can do it. It's not like Seattle's really not that good of a team. I know their wins are showing that they are, but when you struggle against really everybody you play, when you're 6-1 when losing at halftime, how often does that happen when you're losing at halftime and you win a game? It's really rare. So what Seattle doing is it's still impressive, but if Carolina can stick around, I'm not saying they're gonna win a game, but it does help you to stay into a game flow that doesn't get too wild. And like, because if you playing against a Carson, you hope Carolina can stay around just enough, because you want Russell to pass the ball more than to run. So especially when Carson is the only guy back there now, that makes him a definite lock. So I don't know. This game is going to be tricky. I really don't want nobody from it except Carson, and that's because who is he sharing the backfield with in a run heavy offense?
Yeah, I have Chris Carson as a lock. I have Russell Wilson as a lock just because, like, kind of have to play Russell Wilson.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to if you have, like, there's a dude in my league, or one of my leagues. I beat him. I'm in the finals now. I beat him last week. He has Mahomes and Russell Wilson.
Wait, huh?
Mahomes and Russell.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then CMC and DJ Moore are definite locks. The only other person I might go from this game is, as a floor play, I have either Lockett or Metcalf. I don't know which one is going to be, but I feel like one of them is just going to be able to produce enough fantasy points for a floor play.
I think Lockett is Lockett reminds me of a running back, the James Whites, the Duke Johnsons, where they can't lead your backfield, but for a whole season. And I think Lockett I think he just worn. I don't think he can be a number one receiver. I think he's now worn down, in my opinion. Well, I know he got hurt too, so that helps it out too. But I just don't see him being the number one. So hopefully Decaf can take over. Hopefully DK Metcalf can take over that. Or maybe Josh Gordon. I don't know what was the point of Josh Gordon. They're not going to use him. I just don't understand it.
I don't know. I don't know why a team hasn't signed Antonio Brown, but
hey, I said it every single week. I just don't understand. Let him be him. I try to win Super Bowl. I ain't got time. If he wins, he wins.
yep, if he's too much of a distraction, then I don't know. You ain't controlling your locker room.
Right.
The Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs -9.5 to Kansas City, over under 45.5. So yeah, the same locks every week for this team. Hill, Mahomes, Kelsey. Even though I really didn't like Hill last week, kind of I don't know. I feel like he's going to be a lot this week. They're not going to be able to keep up with him. And then yeah, Cortland Sutton is a lock, and I like Philip Lindsay a lot this week because Kansas City cannot stop running backs.
It's been known that Philip Lindsay is the worst fantasy good running back in the league. Like he's supposed to have 100 yards a game. It looked like he about to have it, and then he doesn't. So hopefully this can be a matchup. Kansas City Chiefs defense who's still susceptible to the run. Yeah, everybody you said is a lock. Definitely is one. It's the thing about I think this game is good for Sutton and Lindsay just because the Chiefs always put up points in this game, which means if Drew Lock may not be the savior, we need to put up points on the board. So I don't know if you can. You might can trust Noah Fant in this game too, because I think if Kansas City, like I said, they always put up points against Broncos. Broncos got to be ready to put up points right there with them if they want to compete. And I think this Broncos team is playing for something. So whether that's building for next season. So I think they're gonna come out blazing, and then they can put up 24 points. They're gonna lose. So that means Kansas City putting up 30. So it's gonna be a good fantasy. I think this could be a fantasy matchup of the week.
I don't know of the week. Hold on. I don't know about of the week, but I definitely do like this matchup a lot. Drew Lock has brought a new life to this offense. I have him and Noah Fant as a foreplay. The only thing I'm really scared of is Kansas City. Like their pass defense is really underrated, and if Lock the only thing is Lock makes mistakes, like I said last week, but he's been good so far. So as long as Lock stays consistent, I like this game to be definitely going over. All right, yeah. So we got the Miami Dolphins at the New York Giants, -3.5 to the Giants, over under 46.5. If Miami is able to get their offensive pieces back, I think they win this game because they didn't go anywhere. They literally went nowhere.
Yeah, Miami gonna win this game. Fitzpatrick is better than Eli Manning, and as long as he got Devontae Parker with the other guys he got on the team, even though they're hurt, I think that'll be fine. Usually when quarterbacks play the Miami Dolphins, they go up as far as average. So let's see if Eli Manning can continue that ship. I mean, he got all the weapons, especially if Evan Ingram's back. You got too many weapons not to be good, but of course, Evan Ingram's going to be out. That just it's really sad though, because like this offense should on paper this offense should be really good. I mean, so maybe next year we can get the Giants offense in full effect. So, but Slayton played a good game last week. Is he going to do that again this year and this week? Probably not. Shepard, no, and Saquon, I have no faith. So.
Yeah, I really don't know who to go in this game at all. But I do have to tell you something. All right. So last Monday, I was facing that guy who has Mahomes and Wilson, right, in the league. I was up. It's 2 weeks playoffs. I was up 34 points, right? So Slayton he has Alshon and Slayton. Slayton gets 32 in the first half. Alshon gets hurt. And then Slayton doesn't get another point, and I win. I was like, "Let's go!" I so thought I was gonna lose.
Hey, now what's crazy was I was in a similar game where like I said, I had Mike Evans, I had Tyler Boyd, and Anthony Miller. All had good games. Or Mike Evans, this big bomb touchdown. Miller and what is it? Boyd both gave me 14 points. Hey, that's solid. But I had Slayton on the bench with 32, and I ended up losing by like 15 points. So I plug him in instead of anybody else.
Would have won.
It's a whole different ball game. And thing about it is, I thought about putting him in there, but I was like, okay, Anthony Miller against Cowboys, blah blah. He scored. I was like, wow, that's good. That's a good decision. Mike Evans scored, got hurt. Oh man, he could have been crazy. So it is what it is with fantasy, man. And that hurt. I ain't gonna lie, that hurt a little bit.
It's always it always hurts. All right, so the next game we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Oakland Raiders. Over under 45.5, -6.5 to Oakland. So they almost have Oakland as a full touchdown favorite. Is this Jacksonville offense dead?
Yeah, sorry, it's over. This team is free falling. Expect a whole new change next year. So I mean, if you got Westbrook, it's a good matchup for him. Maybe you can trust it a little bit based off garbage time with him and Minshew. So maybe you get like you're there for next to have a good game because he's a pass catching back now. So maybe if he can score. But I love the Raiders this game. And to tell you the truth, I don't care if Jacobs play or not. I know he said he want to go, but he's really banged up. I think Washington is a good play as well. Jacksonville can't stop anything. And then I really like, to be honest, I think we might see an emergence or reemergence of maybe a Tyrell Williams. This Jaguar defense they give up everything, like bombs, 20-yard runs. It really awful. So if Derek Carr can push the ball down the field, hey, Tyrell Williams or Darren Waller, they can be in full effect this week.
Right. I like Waller a lot just because of the way this Oakland offense uses their tight ends. The only thing about Tyrell for me is like I had him at the beginning of the season. I was loving it. And then he just stopped catching touchdowns. And he's really, really touchdown dependent unless you feel like he's going to have like 4 catches for 120 yards. Other than that, it's really hard to trust him. But like you said, Jacksonville is giving up everything. So if you feel like he can get a touchdown this game, you might as well play him. So I have Derek Carr as a floor play. I agree with you. Dede Westbrook is also a floor play with Fournette as well. Other than that, Jacobs, Waller, I'm not touching anyone.
Yeah.
You think Minshew's going to be back next year? Like I know he's probably going to be like on the roster, but you think he's going to start?
Well, I don't know. They can't trade Nick Foles, so I mean, probably a QB battle at camp.
They might draft someone else and it'll be a 3-way battle. All right, so the next game, the Cleveland Browns, almost said Cavaliers, at the Arizona Cardinals, over under 48.5, -2.5 to Cleveland. I think this might be the fantasy game of the week, man. I feel like if the Cleveland line is able to protect Baker Mayfield, I feel like Chubb's going to go off, Hunt's going to go off, Landry or OBJ is going to off, if not both. I have more faith in Landry. And then he's a floor play, but I feel like he might be more than that. This boy David Njoku got the Cardinals. You got a tight end. You play that tight end, right?
Hey, that's been a formula all season long, so I don't see why it will continue. I think it's going to be a crazy game. I think Baker is kind of a low key revenge game for Baker because of Cliff Kingsbury and how that all went down in Texas Tech, and you know how Baker is with grudges. So he always get up for this game. I think this is a game he's going to get up. I think this is after this week we're going to say, oh, Baker is, he is that man. Obviously, it's against the Cardinals, but they're going to say, oh, he's that man. So I think that this could be the game where, like you said, where this whole offense is on display and you be like, this is what we've been waiting on all season long, and you did it in week 15. So,
yeah, exactly. And then on the other side of the ball, you're thinking about Mayfield versus Kingsbury. It's Oklahoma versus Oklahoma and Mayfield and Murray, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then both number 1 picks and going against each other like the last 2 years. I feel like that, like you can't really predict narrative, but I like Kyler Murray and Christian Kirk a lot in this game. Larry Fitzgerald can definitely have a safe floor. The only one I'm really worried about is like he has a floor play because of his pass catching ability. But how you feel about Kenny Drake?
Well, I mean, Drake just had the volume, and they want to give it to him. They don't want to play DJ. They don't want to play Edmonds anymore. So, I mean, if you just think it's going to be if Browns can get up on them, and if Arizona can just if he gonna get the pass catching role, then you're gonna be fine with his 40 yards rushing, 40 yards receiving, but he gonna have 6 catches. You'll be fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I have him as a floor play. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried about it if this game gets out of hand for Cleveland. But then he catches the ball, so it's a safe play.
Yeah.
And you think DJ is going to be on the team next year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
All right, so we got the Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers over under 48 minus 10.5 to San Fran. This is another Jimmy G game for me, man. I like George Kittle a lot too. The only thing I'm really worried about for this San Fran offense is I really don't know where the running back is going to go because Atlanta run defense is actually like pretty good, and then Atlanta's been like they've showed some heart and actually been playing the last few weeks. So I feel like San Fran still covers, but I feel like Jimmy G is going to have another game.
Exactly, and that's the formula. That's the way to beat this Atlanta team is through the air. Because like I said, on the ground they have been stopping running backs all season long. Really, they still can't get to the quarterback. They still have the lowest rate in pass rushing. So why not pass the ball? Whether that's because of what you have shown over the last 14 weeks, the play action is going to work regardless. Like you can go out there and run it 3 times in a row. It's going to work all 3 times. So with that being said, the Kittles and your Debo, I think you can line them all up. I mean, I know it's kind of crazy, but you probably can double stack them, like Jimmy G, and have 2 receivers, or Sanders and Kittle, or Debo, and what I'm saying, you can do that in this game. I think there's going to be enough points on the board because I think San Francisco has not been pretty the last few games against quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have been torching them. I know Drew Brees was kind of like 2 games in 1. But you got to think of think a couple games back. They just been obviously had Lamar Jackson in there too. But it's been a couple games where they've been struggling as far as that concern. And without D Ford or Richard Sherman, I mean this could be a fantasy matchup of the week. And regardless if 49ers blow them out or cover the 10 points, it can be a 40 to 30 game. I mean it can be. Like I think 49ers is built to stop you if it's a low scoring game or outscore you. So I think this is another outscore you game just like last week.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast earlier and someone said something that I really liked is this San Fran team can play any style of game you want. They can play a defensive game. They can play an offensive game. They can. This San Fran team is the most versatile team on offense and defense in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and San Fran's my pick to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna lie. All right, the next game we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Dallas Cowboys over under 49 minus 1.5 to the Rams. I feel like I got a bad feeling about this game, man. I really just feel like this is going to be one of those really sloppy games from both teams. It's going to be kind of a defensive battle, but the only people I really want from the offensive side is Gurley and Zeke.
Yeah. I think it can be a game where it might not be a lot of points scored, but it's gonna be a lot of big plays. And if you're playing like a captain mode in this game, or you're hoping you're playing like a late slate or something, it's gonna be hard to pick the right receivers because it could be Cooper, but it might not because he's playing Jalen Ramsey. So it might be Gallup, or it could be a Cobb, and just like other side, it could be Kupp, it could be Woods. But I think those 2 guys you mentioned and one more guy that you haven't said. I think is Gerald Everett playing again? Is he out again this week?
He is day to day.
If he does not play, I don't see why Higbee wouldn't go off again. Back-to-back weeks with 7 catches over 100 yards. I don't see why he wouldn't continue that trend, especially the Cowboys, who's not good versus tight ends. So I would roll Higbee out there. We said it early in the season. I remember when he got paid, he was like follow the money, but then they was leaning more Gerald Everett. So we was kind of questioning our logic on that, and now we see it finally went off because Everett got hurt. So I mean I don't know if they realize it now that he's the guy. So we'll see. But I think Higbee can have a good game too.
Yeah, I have Higley as a floor play, and then I feel like it's going to be like like you said, you don't know who to go. So like as a lock, I have Woods or Cup because like it's been 50-50 with them. Like Cup will have a good game, and then Woods will be mediocre. Woods will have
Technical difficulties. Austin, can you hear me? Come on back if you can. Can you come back?
hello.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was making a hand gesture and I accidentally pressed the button to turn off Wi-Fi on my laptop.
Okay, that's the
All right, yeah. So I feel like it's going to be Woods or Cup, and then on the other side, as a floor play, I have Cooper or Gallup. Especially with, like you said, with Cooper going to be on Ramsey, I feel like this might be a Michael Gallup game where he has that 7 catches for over 100 yards.
Yeah, I can dig it. Hey, okay, quick question. Obviously, they're playing the defenses, but if you could have an offense, what would you rather have? The Cowboys offense or the Rams offense?
As in what do you mean?
Like if you can just pick an offense to have as a team, like pretend you're not playing this game because obviously the Rams defense is better than the Cowboys defense. But if you just picking and building the team, would you rather have the Cowboys or the Rams?
Can I have the Rams with the Cowboys offensive line?
No, that's cheating.
I'm probably gonna have to go the Rams just because I feel like they need if they mix it up more with the run game instead of running only zone or only power plays. I feel like they can be a lot more like more consistent, but their offense will be like more dynamic because teams won't know what they're going to do. I feel like that's why they've struggled more in the second year is that they've hid their coverage from Goff until McVay can't hear him, and then they've also like they do a lot of the same stuff. Like they scheme a lot of the same way, and I feel like if they get away and do more things different, I feel like this team can get back to where they were.
Never.
All right, so we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Chargers over under 45.5, -2.5 to your boys in Minnesota. Um, I literally have the whole Minnesota offense is a lot.
Yeah, and I think with Thielen back, if he's I don't know what his percent is, but let's say if he's 100%, you're talking about an offense that's going to be unlocked, and who do you stop? Like we know Casey Hayward. I think this Thielen coming back in this game was so great because Kurt has been going to everybody, whether that's Irv Smith, Kyle Rudolph, or BC Johnson. It doesn't really matter. And they've been getting the job done because you have Dalvin Cook behind you as well. But with Casey Hayward, if he's strictly on Diggs and you take Diggs out the game, then like just like the game against Seattle, they had to go to Irv Smith in a big key play instead of finding Diggs. I think adding Thielen there, who Casey Hayward going to guard? Is he going to guard Diggs? Is he going to guard Adam Thielen? Because he got to pick his poison because they don't have the other corner that can lock down the other. So I think this offense, if Thielen can be healthy, this offense is going to spike right up, like you said, as a lock because on the road, it's going to be. I think Minnesota get the job done. And then on the other side, Chargers. Now, I think Eckler is probably he's probably a lock. I would trust Eckler more than I would trust Melvin Gordon. Like I said, the Seattle game a couple weeks ago, that was the outlier game. Vikings usually stop every other running back. I mean, against Chiefs, running back had like 120 yards and he had one carry for 91. So it's a rarity, and I don't think Melvin Gordon gets it done. I think it's more Eckler. Phillip Rivers. Trying to think because maybe the Vikings corners look better against Galladay and Marvin Jones and Amendola last week, but then again, it was David Blau and not Phillip Rivers. So we're going to see them versus a good quarterback with good weapons. Let's see what happens on this corners because I don't know if I want to say I know Keenan Allen, the volume is a lot, but can the rotation of the Vikings and the changes what will happen? Does Mike Williams get beat somebody on a big bomb. Who knows? I think I would prefer the receivers over Hunter Henry too. The tight end position. Minnesota has gotten way better at that. And even though Hunter Henry he's been struggling the last few games too, and I don't think the trend goes up.
Yeah, I completely understand. I feel like Henry's definitely going to be like capped. I have him as a floor play. I have Rivers as a floor play too, just because I feel like they're going to be down in this game and they're going to have to pass. It's not going to be a Melvin Gordon game. He's going to get the ball to Austin Eckler, and yeah, Keenan Allen is a lock for me. He's going to get like 10 to 12 targets, and I mean, if you guys are playing better, that's fine. But Keenan Allen, like he hasn't had that breakout performance, and he needs to get going.
I so hope it's not this week. I so hope it's not this week.
Kevin want to be in the playoffs so bad.
Hey, for real. Hey, just get us in there.
All right, so this game has playoff implications, but this is probably going to be the most boring game of the week. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers, -2 to Pittsburgh, over under 36. You want to have the lowest over under. You flex the lowest over under into Sunday Night Football. I know this game has a lot of implications, but I would rather see your team versus the Chargers in Sunday Night Football.
Well, we were the Sunday night
exactly.
They moved us out, but that's because the Chargers. That's their fault. And of course, they didn't want to always, and they wanted Dallas to be the America's game at 4:00. So hey, I mean, it's not bad because we shouldn't see these teams should not meet in the playoffs. Because they probably, if they do both make it, they'll both be wild cards. But yes, this game is not going to be fun. If you play somebody from this game, you're just hoping. Josh Allen does not have the offensive line to run from TJ Watt and all them boys. So I don't like Josh Allen. I don't like John Brown. He's been non-existent. The only person I would play in this game, and obviously, I have to, is David Singletary. And that's just because they want to make that a focal point to run the ball. And they probably won't be successful, but if he was to play somebody, that's probably the one I'd go.
So yeah, I have Singletary as a floor play. I really don't know how I feel about Josh Allen this week, man. It's does he have the weapons to be able to produce? It's not a John Brown game for me, man. If there's anyone who's a lock in this game from the Buffalo side, it's Cole Beasley.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then what do you think? What do you think about James Conner being back?
Don't care. Even when he was there and he only had like one good game, he always get hurt in the game anyway. He will get hurt again. Like right. I hate to say, he got hurt in every single game he played. Like whether it's a ankle and he come back or something, he got hurt every single game. So I don't want to points with him.
Yeah, I completely understand. And then I guess James Washington or Deontay Johnson, but I feel like the Buffalo pass defense is too good for that. So I don't. Yeah. I can't really do that.
Yeah, avoid
abort this whole game. All right, and then the next game we got the Indianapolis Colts at the New Orleans Saints, -8.5 to New Orleans, over under 46. This line is too low. They're going to beat them by like 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Think so.
The Saints are mad. Did you see how they lost last week? The Saints are mad. They're going to. Hey, this Colts team is beat up. Like I can't. I'm gonna say 2 or 3 touchdowns because that's absolutely ridiculous. But I think this game's not close.
I think this game is gonna be closer than you think. I think the Saints they've been beat up too. They lost a lot of key guys in that game as well. And you know this Colts offensive line. That's why you love Marlon Mack every single week. And they at some point they have to play. Let's play keep away. And I think they because you don't want to put your defense on the field so much against Drew Brees, especially like you said they're mad. So I don't think they go crazy. I think Saints can score about 35. I guess that is crazy, but they may cover the spread. I don't think it's a blowout though. I think the Colts can be fine in this matchup. I just don't see the Saints killing them. I think because this is a dome team. They know how loud their stadium is. I think they can be used to it. In my opinion, and it's just gonna be it's gonna be a weird game. It's just too weird for me. This game would have been so great because you know why they had this game, Andrew Luck versus Drew Brees. Like this would have been so great coming into the season. I understand why they made it like this, but with Jacoby there, the ceiling ain't but so high. So maybe if the offensive line can control the pocket, they can stay in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Brissett has not been playing well since he came back from his injury. And if Ty doesn't play again, then the only person he has to pass to is Jack Doyle. Paris Campbell's on IR. I guess he's going to pass it to Zach Pascal. Um, I really, you can't really trust that. So I have Doyle, Brissett, and Mac as four plays just because I feel like they are going to be playing from behind. And I feel like max volume, I feel like he's going to be able to be a floor player. If you can attack this New Orleans defense, you can attack them on the ground, especially with an offensive line like the Indianapolis Colts. But I don't know, man. I feel like this Saints team is so mad. They lost. They scored 46 points and lost.
That's crazy.
Exact.
That's crazy.
Did you
That's
see?
crazy.
Did you see? Did you see what Sean Payton did?
Oh, to the butcher dude.
Yeah. Worry about your freaking meat. All right, so duds of the week. I'll go first. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm gonna say this straight up. I don't like Tom. Like I said, I think it's a get right game for Sony Michelle. It's going to be a slower game. In Cincinnati, I don't. I feel like Tom Brady just doesn't get there for me. I feel like Tom Brady's going to be a dud. This is going to be a run heavy game, especially against one of the worst run defenses in the league. Um, I feel like we get Sony Michelle going, and that's the way we have to do it. And then with Jalen Ramsey guarding them, I don't. I think it's a Gallup game. I'm not really trusting Amari Cooper. And yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I feel like it's going to be a defensive game. I don't see where Cooper could go off, especially against Jalen Ramsey.
Those of the week, I'm going Aaron Rodgers. I just think that the fact that if they do triple team Devontae Adams, this is why when I asked you earlier, like you said, who are you not playing good chart? I said, well, who am I gonna take out? And I was like, I'm not taking out Robinson, I'm not taking out Diggs, and I'm not taking out Godwin. I like the only one I'll take out with Adams. That's because of the matchup, not the player. So I was like, that's the only one I would even consider. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers goes off in this game. I think he had his two games. That was the Redskins, the Giants. He went off the Giants. The Redskins wasn't so much. I don't think he goes off these next two games when there's the Bears and the Vikings. So I think Aaron Rodgers will be a dud. I just don't see it. I think if it is going to be a good game for them, it's going to be because of Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. And also another dud. I'm going to go. Who was it? Oh, yeah, Amari Cooper versus the Rams against Jalen Ramsey. You pretty much know the games he's going to go crazy on, and the Rams are going to key in on him. I think they're going to allow Gallup and Cobb and other guys to do their job. I think they're going to focal point on stopping two guys, and Zeke and Cooper, and Ramsey can do that.
Yep, and then focusing on Zeke, that's going to be hard. They need to get in on the run. All right, so we got the lineup of the week, cash lineup of the week. As always, there is no Monday night, there is no Sunday night, and so main slate only. So for my quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, man, going with him again. He's honestly not priced pretty much. Like I think there's like a $500 difference from last week. And like I said, this is a passing game for San Fran again. I like Jimmy Garoppolo a lot. At running back, I got Chris Carson, just because, like I said, the Seattle team is going to keep it slow. They're going to run the ball a lot, and there's no Rashad Penny anymore. So who's he competing with? CJ Prosise. And then my other running back, I went for a cheaper option. He's only $5,100. I like him a lot this week. It's Sony Michelle, man. I had to put him in my lineup. If I think this is a bounce back game for Sony Michelle, I had to play him. And I feel like they do need to get him going for this whole offense to open up. And hopefully this will be the spark that the Patriots need to get everything going. And then DJ Moore, I have as my first receiver, just to pair up with that Chris Carson matchup. I feel like if I'm not going CMC, I have to go DJ Moore. DJ Moore has been a consistent player these like towards the end of the season, through most of the season. And then Kev said earlier, pretty much go anyone on this Detroit team. I got Danny Amendola. He's only $4,100. Without Marvin Jones there, I feel like Amendola definitely gets a step up. He's gotten 8 targets these past 2 weeks. He's only caught like 3 balls each week, But if he can go 8 for 8, then that's an amazing game, and I feel like he does have a safe floor. And then Chris Godwin, $7,700. There's Rashard Perryman, there's OJ Howard, but Chris Godwin is the man, especially if they line him up in the slot. I feel like Chris Godwin's going to be able to make big plays this week. And then tight end, George Kittle. I had to pair someone up with Jimmy Garoppolo, and I liked Sanders last week. I don't know if it's going to be Debo Sanders. I feel like this is a George Kittle game, especially like Kev said earlier, with that play action, they can run it on every play, and that's when Kittle gets his big, most explosive plays. So I had to play George Kittle, and then for my flex option, $4,200, pretty cheap option, just because he is coming back with a prime matchup. I have David Njoku against the Cardinals. I had to play him this week, and the matchup was too sweet. The price was too sweet. I had to go David Njoku, and then the Bears defense is only $2,400. They were pretty cheap defense. I could have afforded like the Panthers or the Jaguars, but I'm not going to either of them. Kev said Aaron Rodgers is a dud. I'm going to trust that, and I got Bears as my defense, and that's my lineup of the week.
Hey, we back to the man of the match, which, like I said, is based on that player from that particular game. It was a crazy slate. So game one is we talk about the Cleveland Browns facing the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, Austin, they were smart. They took Baker Mayfield out of this because they know who I was going to go. To me, if we talked about how this is a revenge game for Baker and he's going to put on a show, who is he going to look forward to? Who's going to be the man of the match? Kyler Murray is also in the list, but I'm not going to go him. I'm going to go Jarvis Landry. I just think I'm all in on Baker Mayfield this week, and give me a pass option, especially the one that he liked the most. Game two is the Tennessee Titans and Texans playing against each other. I talked about how Texans are second to worst red zone defense, and with that being said, even with Derrick Henry banged up, I'm going to go Ryan Tannehill. I just think that it's too explosive right now to be stopped by anybody right now. Game three is the Minnesota Vikings at the LA Chargers. Obviously, there's no Kirk Cousins because they know better. Obviously, there's no Phillip Rivers. There's no Dalvin Cook. They smart. So who I'm going to go? We talked about Eckler being the lock. With Thielen being back, that takes away Diggs' targets. And I think that Minnesota's secondary is going to right the ship, which means Keenan Allen may or may not go off. So I'm going to go Austin Eckler in that game. Game four is the Packers versus the Bears. I think we missed the Aaron Jones week, but I said that if they're going to win this game, it's going to be because of Aaron Jones. And if you're looking back to week one, he had 13 carries, 39 yards. That's when the Bears defense looked so great. Are they a different team from then? I would say yes, but I'm going to go Allen Robinson. I just trust him too much. This last few games, it's hard to fade away. Game five is the Carolina Panthers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk about how we talk about how the Panthers are so bad against running backs. And there's no Rashard Penny to take away from them. So who do you go? Chris Carson all the way. There's no McCaffrey, obviously, so I have to go Carson. Game six, they talked about the Rams and Cowboys. Who do you go? Amari Cooper? No. Ramsey's going to shut that up. Do you go Kupp? Do you go Goff, Woods? There's a lot of people on this list, but we talked about how the Rams is starting to open it up for one guy in particular, and that's Todd Gurley. You can't fade Todd Gurley. Game seven is the 49ers and the Falcons. Now, this is where it get kind of hard because I think anybody on this list can beat you. And Julio Jones, Austin Hooper, Kittle, Freeman, Samuel, and Mostert. Like, you can pick anybody in this list, and they all can go crazy. So I'm going to pick the safest one, and that's George Kittle. Atlanta is 24th against tight ends, and like we talked about the play action, it's going to work, and he's a monster. You seen what he did against the Saints to win the game. And tier 8, New England at Cincinnati. Of course, they put this game on here. It's really nobody to go. I know Austin like Sona Michelle. I just don't trust it. So I'm just going to take James White because why not? There's no Joe Mixon on. Well, it is Joe Mixon on the board, but it's the Bengals. so I'm gonna go James White, and that's my tier lineup for the week.
All right, man. That'll do it. We covered 16 games in under an hour. I'm proud of us.
Good job.
Good job us. Good job us. Yeah, it's been tighten up, Hunt. We got tighten up.
You funny. I'm just regular Kev. I'm regular Kev. So
He too tired to be anything else today.
hey man, so we'll be back. We're gonna come back to see who does win off. And hopefully next week you're in the finals and you got $1 million because I need it.
Yeah, I need it too. Hopefully next week I'm in the finals. I got a 2 week playoff I'm in right now. I set Mark Andrews. I got another league. I set James Crowder. So if I make it through this week, my bank account's gonna be looking pretty good. I'm gonna be able to get second, like at least second in three leagues that I paid money for. So the only one I didn't pay money for and made the playoffs was our dynasty league. So
Right.
hopefully
And
I'll be right at the end of the season.
well, I'm kind of disappointed in myself. All 5 leagues I'm in, I made the playoffs. 3 went home first round. So and one was to you. So it is what it is. One league I was 11-1 and lost first round. So it is crazy how it is. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can pull out. Hopefully I can pull out in dynasty. That's my hope.
I'm just glad Adam is out in redraft, so I don't got to play Lamar Jackson.
All right, bro. Let's catch you later now. Hope for the prize.
Peace out.